back. It has been a couple of minutes. So we're back here. As you can see, it's Destiny. This has not been a game that I've been playing in the past couple of months. It's been all Overwatch. Of course, there was the Overwatch League stuff. But Forsaken dropped about 3 weeks ago now, and I wanted to kind of give my analysis of it, what I think now that we're 3 weeks in. The raid has dropped. Iron Banner is here. Gonna probably just be playing Iron Banner in the background, even though it might distract me, so I might just do nothing for part of it. So the first big DLC really for Forsaken is for Destiny 2 is Forsaken. Like I said, it's the just like in Destiny 1, the vanilla game dropped, and then there were 2 smaller expansions, and then the big one, which was Taken King. That is Forsaken. It's this game's Taken King, and I think that it's this game's Taken King in more ways than one. Not only did it like come out at the same time as the first $40 expansion, but it's also the game that kind of revolutionizes, the entire process and the entire game, really, because when the first Destiny launched, it was a little bit of a bust in terms of like there wasn't really stuff to do. The story was incredibly weak, and it left a lot of people feeling disappointed. Then the second 2 expansions added on a little something to the game, but it wasn't so much. House of Wolves I thought was actually very good because it added the Prison of Elders, it added Trials of Osiris, which ended up being huge events for the game, especially Trials. I mean, there are some streamers and YouTubers who kind of built up their entire communities just off of Trials. So yeah, that was a big event for Destiny 1. But then Taken King came out, and there were a ton of players that came back, ton of new players. People really enjoyed the game because it was the story was a lot better. There was stuff to grind for. A great raid launched, and so many more weapons came out. A bunch of exotic quests. It jump-started the game in a way that the other expansions couldn't really do, and I think Forsaken is in many ways very similar to this. So go over some of the things that they added real quick. So there's 2 new social areas, the Tangled Shore and then the Dreaming City. The Tangled Shore, it's just like any other area really, like your Nessus or your IO. You got some lost sectors. You got a new type of public event where you have to a wanted target will come out of a pod from the Prison of Elders, because the Prison of Elders in the beginning of this was broken into, and there was a big escape, if you didn't know, and it's Prince Uldren is at fault, Cade is killed, blah blah blah. I don't think saying like story stuff is really important, because if you're watching this and you're actually interested, you probably already know anyway. So you go to the Tangled Shore, and like I said, it's visually it's not super stunning. It's just like any other place in Destiny. I'd say probably in the lower end on like just looks. But there's a good amount of stuff to do. Like I said, there's a new type of public event, and you have to freeze this wanted target in order to make it heroic. But it's a nice little area. You go on your Baron hunt throughout the story. You go all in different places throughout, and you kill all of Uldren's Barons, and then of course that leads you to the next part of the story. Eventually, it kind of reveals what was influencing Prince Uldren, and that is the raid. So I really did enjoy how they tied the story like into the raid in a big way. I feel like they didn't really do that in the other games as much. They kind of did with Taken King because it's Oryx again, but they don't really explain like why he's not dead after you supposedly defeat him at the last mission of the campaign. So this is the most interconnected one that there is. Like some of the other expansions, like Rise of Iron, they're like, bam, now there's this enemy, it's the Fallen, and there's Axis at the end of it. But they don't go super like in depth with it. So they do in this. It's definitely more connected than it ever has been, which is nice. I thought that the story itself, it was it was decently long. It's like you're what 6 to 8 hours, depending on like how fast you fly through it. Yeah, it was solid. They pull at your heartstrings with Cade, a beloved character, dying, and it's satisfying to hunt down the Barons and kill them. There's like this little side narrative going on, or maybe I guess you could say it's a pretty big narrative. Our ghost is kind of telling us, hey, we're not killing just because we want to, right? This is all for justice, for a higher purpose. Because we obviously don't want to be murderers. We're guardians, and we want to just keep people safe. So they kind of bring into questions like the morality of what we're doing. I mean, I thought that this fell flat a little for me, because unless they had like done more to portray the Barons as people that like didn't deserve it as much, but they were murderers and insane, and they did terrible things before they even killed Cade. So they're perfect targets for Guardians anyway, and the universe is a better place because because we put them in the ground. So that whole narrative didn't really do it for me. I know a couple of my friends said that they did enjoy that narrative, so that's good. That's fine for them. Just for me personally, that didn't seem to be overly enticing for me. It didn't quite sell it to me. But overall, the campaign is very good. Maybe the best campaign experience in a Destiny game yet. I'd say it's definitely up there with Taken King, and original D2, like vanilla D2, was pretty good as well, with the Red Legion and Gaul. So that's about it with the story. The story isn't really what pulls me into Destiny. It never really was. The grind is one thing that definitely pulled me into D1, and I'm happy to say the grind is back for D2. It's too bad it's not reset, so I could kind of like show you guys what all there is to do. But every week you got a ton of stuff to do. You have to, if you complete any bounties from anybody, you need to complete 20 of them for Ikora. She'll give you a reward. There's clan bounties that refresh for Soraya, and you go to her and you get those. You complete enough of the bounties, you get a reward. Vanguard, you do 3 daily story missions, you get a powerful reward. You do 3 strikes, powerful reward. Nightfall, powerful reward. Usually Gambit, you play 3 matches, bingo. Crucible, play 5 matches, there you go. And then complete weekly bounties for Petra in the Dreaming City. That's the other one. So there's a lot of stuff to do. There's also daily challenges that pop up every now and again. And those are just like complete 1 game of Crucible, complete 1 game of Gambit. And these all give you powerful gear. Once you're past 500 light, which you basically will be at 500 once you complete the campaign, it gets decent. Like, this expansion really wants you to get to 500 fast, and then it really slows it down. Like the first for day or 2, I was already to 500. Now it's like 2.5 weeks later, and I'm to 539. So it's definitely a bit of a slower grind, which is nice for me. That was one thing about original vanilla D2. It seemed like it was just too easy to rank up and just like get to close to max. I barely played D2 after like the first month and a half, and I was still pretty much at max for the remainder of the vanilla D2 and the last 2 expansions. So it is nice that it actually seems like it's a challenge to get to 600. You gotta actually work for it. So that's nice. The other social space, the Dreaming City, I like it a lot. One complaint I have, there's only 1 landing zone, which is a little annoying because it's pretty big. So you gotta navigate a bit. Maybe if they added another one towards like the Strand or something like that, that would make it a bit more convenient to go around. You could save a little bit of time. But this area is absolutely gorgeous. Looks amazing. There's some pretty solid stuff to do. The Blind Well is kind of like your combination of Escalation Protocol and a little bit of Core of Oryx-ish too. There's different tiers of that you can do, and obviously the higher tiers you go, the better stuff you get, but the higher light it is, so it is harder. There's also more bosses as you go. So nice little activity. I wish you could go into these patrols, like these kind of areas, with more people than 3, because they would make it a lot easier. You wouldn't have to just kind of wait in the blind well sometimes and wait for like 4 people to show up. So that'd be nice if they ever change that up a little bit. But overall, I love the Dreaming City. I go there way more than the Tangled Shore. And yeah, it's kind of just like a cycle. It's a bit of a cycle at this point. You're going forward and just completing the weeklies week in and week out. They haven't gotten old for me yet. The new strikes are all very good. They're pretty hard. I think that's definitely one thing they stepped up in D2 as a whole. The strikes with the inverted spire is kind of an exception. That one's real easy, but the strikes are actually they're decently tough in this game, which is good. It's good for me. I like a little bit more of a challenge. I don't want to just run through and get bored of stuff. I have not played the new raid that just dropped last week. It's the biggest raid yet. It took the first groups over 18 hours to complete, so that's awesome. I've heard very good things about it from like the big raiders, Dado, King Goth, and the like. They had a lot of fun with it. It seems like it might be the toughest ones yet. Plus, people were underleveled. Starts at 550. I'm getting close-ish to there now, but still a little ways to go. Hopefully, I'll be doing the raid, and I can give you guys a bit more of a detailed review of it when that happens. But for right now, I can only say what I've heard about it, and that is good things, very good things. So, some of the other like quality of life patches and just changes to the game. Of course, there was the change to weapon slots. So now you don't have to have like 2 primaries. Right now I'm rocking a hand cannon, a sniper rifle, and then a rocket launcher. It's back to the D1 version of it, where you can have multiple like that. You can still rock double primaries. You can still have a hand cannon and a scout if you would like, or any combination of them. That's a very, very good change. The one bad thing is there are the shotgun warriors are kind of back in Crucible, but Crucible is still a lot more fun than it was. I'm actually enjoying Crucible a lot when I play it nowadays, way more than I did in the first version of D2. So that's good. The weapons feel better, unique. Still not as good as D1 for me, but I do like them though. And Ace of Spades is a gun that they changed quite a bit. I do enjoy it though. I love the aesthetic. Actually, I think I do. Yeah, I'm gonna look at this ornament. Ooh, yep, I'm applying it. I forgot I had that. But yeah, that's amazing. So, Crucible, like I said, a lot better. Even like shotgun, they're a little bit annoying, but shotguns aren't quite as good as they were like back in their heyday in D1. So you don't get mapped as much. It's just people running forward, just holding their either W or their cursor just up. So overall, great experience there. Gambit is really fun. If you play it by yourself, not nearly as fun, but when you play with a couple, like friend or 2 or 3, if you have a full group and you're all like communicating, it's a bunch of fun and very rewarding. I love the mix of PvE and PvP, as somebody who enjoys both of those types. So yeah, pretty much nothing but good things to say about Gambit. Sometimes when you're in the lead, like sometimes if you summon you basically have to bank motes. By killing enemies, you bank the motes, and you summon a primeval, and then the enemy you have to, which is basically just a big yellow bar boss. You have to kill him before the enemy team can summon and kill theirs. You can also, when you deposit motes, you can send blockers to the enemy side, and the first to defeat their primeval wins. And sometimes when you summon your primeval like a lot, quite a bit ahead of the enemy team, like they're maybe like halfway and you've already summoned your guy. It gives them a lot of chances to invade you. They can send one guardian over and try to kill you, and if the invading guardian kills your team, then your primeval recovers health. So that can be frustrating sometimes when like it seems like they just keep sending invaders over and over again and you can't send one, and they're just punishing you with their sleeper simulant in the back, or their blade barraging you in the front, or anything like that. That can be a little frustrating. But overall, Gambit, ton of fun, love it. No trials yet. Not quite sure what's happening with that. I think it's supposed to come back, but if it is, it has not yet, so I can't say anything about that. Yeah, other new things, it's just like there's new strikes, like I said. Those are a ton of fun. Some of the best made strikes of Destiny 2, in my opinion. Oh yes, and Iron Banner. Iron Banner is also back this week. The game type is Control, which is my least favorite game mode, but I've still had a pretty good amount of fun playing Iron Banner. Sometimes when you're playing by yourself, you get pretty much like maybe a group of 2 on your team and like some solo people, and then you're playing against a group of like 4 or 5, and those games can be kind of brutal. You can just get wrecked. But if you're playing with your friends, it's a ton of fun. I've had a lot of fun even playing with just like one or 2 people. It has been a good time, and I like the armor set, the new armor set for Iron Banner. I think it looks very good for all of the different characters. So mostly positives there, and I mean that's pretty much this expansion. It's a ton of positives. Back to more grindy Destiny. The story that they weave is good. They included a couple of missions for after people completed the raid, which is cool. It's a nice little touch. They added more story stuff. It's nice to see characters like Petra Venge coming back. They introduced Spider, who's a pretty cool character. It sucks to see Cade go. He was always a bright spot, and he had his little quips always, and it'd be a shame that he won't. Probably, there's a very, very good chance that he will not be in any more Destiny. No more Nathan Fillion, and it'll be interesting to see if they choose to replace him, and if they do, if they replace him with an existing character or a character from like the lore, or just somebody that we have not heard of at all yet, to be the new Hunter Vanguard. Because I feel like they got to bring it back, or they got to bring in a new Hunter Vanguard. But that is about it. That's my general thoughts on the expansion. It's very well done. The exotic drop rate is so freaky low now. They should probably buff that a little bit. I've been hearing like just that. I've seen so many articles about people like, yeah, at this current rate of getting exotics, it'll take me about 12,000 hours to get all the new exotics. So they may want to bump that up a little bit. But there is a ton of positives here. A lot of people have been taking it well. Most people will agree that it is a very good expansion. It's not enough for some people. They like some people that just quit. They don't want to do it. They don't want to spend the 40 more bucks to kind of just improve the game again, which that I can totally understand. I can respect it. And I think it did bring a pretty good amount of people back. Of course, they have a couple more expansions planned, so we'll have to see where they go with those. And then we'll see if once those next couple expansions come out, we'll see if they're gonna dump Destiny, because D2 has had a ton of problems, and it's not. I think that the player base is definitely still down a lot from D1, so we'll see if Bungie moves on from it, if a new company takes over Destiny, if they go to a Destiny 3, if they do more expansions. It's all still up in the air, but 3 weeks into Forsaken, it's a fun experience again. If you really enjoyed Destiny and kind of fell off, and you got the money to try this, I would recommend it. It is a lot of fun. I've been playing with my friends, and it's been enjoyable. but yeah, that's about it. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Let me know if you're done with Destiny, or if you are coming back to it, or you came back to it because of this and are having a lot of fun, or if you came back to this and you're not having fun. Super curious to see what people have to say, and be a couple more videos coming out soon. Maybe a more in-depth thing about Iron Banner, because I do have a couple of things that I want to address in there, but I don't want to go too far into, because this is a long video that's encompassing like the expansion as a whole. So there will be some stuff coming out about that. I'll probably be making more videos, just like maybe just gameplay wise in Destiny 2, and then I'll be talking about some Overwatch stuff as well. There's been some pretty big news. The eight World Cup teams are set, so there will definitely be a video about that, previewing all that stuff, and yeah, all that fun stuff. I'm a little bit more settled in college now, like in this new semester. So yeah, look for more uploads and streams. So thank you guys very much for watching. Have a great day. See you in the next one.